Buonasera picciotti, benvenuta al nostro video. That's good evening, kids. Welcome to today's video. I was talking with Open AI. That's Chat CGP, I think it's called. I'll make it correct on the video title, I'm sure. Questions about my surname, because there's been some confusion about my surname with people thinking that it's Spanish, and I won't even tell you what some people think it translates to, as it's something disgusting. That it's certainly an Italian last name. So I asked it first. I was like, where was Stefano Pittaluga, the famous director, born? Stefano Pittaluga was born in Genoa, Italy, November 22nd, 1950. He's an Italian film director. What kind of name is Pittaluga with two T's? My last name is spelled with one T. I'll get to that in a second. Pittaluga is an Italian surname. His origin is uncertain, but is believed to be of Ligurian or Sardinian origin. Sardinia was conquered by the Genoese, and there were colonies there. That's why, of course, it could also be Sardinian. But it's probably from Genoa. The name is most commonly found in Italy, particularly in the regions of Liguria, Tuscany, and Sardinia. It is possible that the name derives from a toponym, that is a place name, or from a nickname from someone with a physical or behavioral trait. What kind of name is Pittaluga with one T? Pittaluga with one T is a surname that is most commonly found in South America, particularly in Uruguay and Argentina. It is believed to have originated in Italy, specifically in the Liguria region, and may have been brought to South America by Italian immigrants. The name is spelled slightly differently from the original surname Pittaluga with two T's, but is likely of the same origins. The meaning of the name is uncertain, but it is the same thing about a physical trait, right? And I'll get to that in a second with an official Italian website, official Italian surname website. I am a member of alright, I'm proud of my heritage. Okay, what Disney movie was Bar Pittaluga featured? And you can pause it to read it. Can you speak Zanese, the Genoese dialect? As an artificial intelligence language model, I can process and generate text in many different languages, including Italian. Zanese is a dialect of the Ligurian language spoken in Genoa area of Italy, where Stefano Pittaluga, the director you asked about earlier, was born. While I can understand and generate text in Italian, including some dialects, I cannot speak any languages that don't have a physical body. It is a sense of humor. How about that? Haha. However, I can certainly try to assist you with any questions or concerns you have related to Zanese or Italian language and culture. Translate Pittaluga from Zanese to English with one T. Translate Pittaluga. In Zanese dialect, Pittaluga would be spelled as Pittaluga with certain accents, right? And it translates to squeeze the grape in English. Huh, that's funny, because this website right here, which I translated in English for you, says that the Italian last name Pittaluga is derived from the original name Pittaluga with one T, as in Pittaluga with one T is the original version, right? Pecking grapes to indicate an annoying person. Yes, I am very annoying. Io sono annoioso. And by the way, my grandfather was 100% European. My grandparents, both my grandfather and my grandmother, were from Cuba, but my grandfather, despite being born in Cuba, was 100% European, and he's a Pittaluga. I'm a proud Pittaluga. And there's a lot of Italians in Argentina. It doesn't say Cuba particularly, but I asked Chat CGP on a Facebook post who were the first Pittalugas to arrive in the United States. I'll get to that in a minute. We'll see what it says now, the up-to-date version. It said Cuba to me originally, but let's see what it says this time. So anyway, yes. So Pittaluga with one T was the original. And of course, Mr. Sweet sells a surname Pittaluga with, where is it here? One T, surname Italian, Italy. Of course, because io sono italiano, because I'm Italian. Now, let's see if it can think. Let's see if the moment of truth. Can Chat CGP think? Oh wow, look at this. Yes, it is possible that Pittaluga and Pittaluga with one and two T's surnames have their origins in the phrase Pittaluga. The phrase Pittaluga, of course, is one T with those accents and everything, which means squeeze the grape in Zanese dialect. In Italian, pigliare l'uva, that's how you pronounce GLI in Italian. It's not pigliare, it's pigliare l'uva. Pigliare l'uva is a similar phrase that means to pick the grapes. So in Italian, okay, but that's Italian in general. So I'm, of course, from Genoa on my grandfather's side, so of course we spell it the Genoese way. But of course, Italian, being a mixed language of all different dialects of Italy, to say that phrase as it comes from Genoa, they would say Pittaluga. It's a similar phrase that means to peck the grapes, and it's possible that the surname was originally derived from a family involved in winemaking or viticulture. However, the origin of the Pittaluga and Pittaluga surnames is uncertain, and may be other possible origins as well. Let's give that a thumbs up. Excellent conclusion. Submit feedback. Okay, so now that we have the fact that it can maybe think, and give more insight as well, is there anything else we want to say? Oh, of course, the other moments of truth. Where did the first immigrants with the last name Pittaluga come from? Okay, so it gave out the answer Italy. I just wanted to skip that because I thought of one more critical thinking question. So Pittaluga in Zenese is the phrase that Pittaluga comes which more the phrase closely spelled like the phrase considered the alternate spelling. Wow, okay, so it is not entirely clear why the spelling Pittaluga is considered an alternate spelling of Pittaluga tutis, but it's possible the variety in spelling reflects regional differences in pronunciation or spelling conventions. The two spellings are quite similar, and it's possible they have developed independently in different areas or as a result of transcription errors. It is also possible that the spelling Pittaluga with one T was used by some individuals or families as a way to simplify the spelling of their name or to reflect a different pronunciation. In any case, both Pittaluga and Pittaluga 1 and 2 T's are valid spellings of the surname and may be used interchangeably by families and individuals who bear the name. Okay, so that is the conclusion, folks. There you go. So Pittaluga is not a misspelling. It is a legitimate spelling. It's probably just certain areas in Genoa or a branch out. I wrote the wiki for Pittaluga with two T's. I theorized that since Italy used to be a bunch of different regions, and then Dante came along with his Divine Comedy, and the Pope of the time made his dialect the Florentine dialect, not the Genoese, of course, or Sicilian especially, or Barese. Barese is incredibly different from Standard Italian nowadays, but Standard Italian nowadays was based off the Florentine dialect, and then many people probably changed their names to the Florentine spelling, a more Florentine-ish spelling, I should say. That's my personal theory, but there you go. So that's the history of Pittaluga, an Italian surname. Grazie, ciao, state buon.